Hey guys, Infidel1258 here. Today we are going to get into an FAQ video, questions from the audience. We're going to the comment section. We're going to see what you guys are curious about. Sometimes it's fun if they're critical, but also it's great if they're just curious about whatever Splinterlands is or where you're at in the game. I'm always looking for something that's got some meat on the bones, so that's what we're doing. We'll get 3 comments from 3 different videos, maybe plus some extras. If that sounds interesting, stick around. Let's get into it. So I'll come over here and I go into my community section. I pull up the comments and we'll grab 3 different comments. I haven't pre-loaded these or checked them out, so I don't know what you guys are talking about or curious about. Let's find out together. Quick comments from people about Yaba. This is a recent video where I talked about, actually last night, talking about Yaba and Yaba's Pickle. And it's kind of an inside joke from Splinterlands because he bought a Rooney that had a weaponized Pickle, one of 3. It's a super rare Rooney, and so he paid 3 ETH for it back in the day, and you can see that all on the blockchain. I showed a picture of it in the video, but they thought it'd be funny to, since they made a Yaba card, to make a Pickle card. And so Yves says, really cool, this will be a lot of fun. Ivan says, Yaba's Pickle sounds like a weird name. I wouldn't want people playing with my Pickle like that. Some people have already pulled copies of that. That's inside the set, and it's actually going for a ton. So let's just have a quick comment on that. Go to buy, and you can search Yaba, and there it is. And it's exceedingly expensive right now. It's literally, it's selling for this value too. It's not just priced high. It's selling high. In part because I realize now Empower is actually really strong. I'll show you that in a minute. But I don't know if this seems crazy to me. I don't know. Maybe I don't fully understand the synergies that are possible here. That's certainly, a possibility. Shatter, stun, camouflage, all great things. Empower has to do with, as long as it remains camouflage, it's strengthening its neighboring unit, their power, and so that will mean more damage. So Empower is something that scales wildly because if there's a multi-attacking monster next to Yaba, it will amp it up in terms of its damage output, just 1 unit per, as far as I understand. And then Relentless Strike is also great because that's the one that lets you do true damage, I believe. Let's go over to Splinterlands because there's better. As you can see, there's no real pop-up showing when I look at peak monsters. We'll look up Archmage Yabanius in Splinterlands where we'll find the definitions. But this price seems, ludicrous, and yet it's moving. Yesterday I saw one at 218, another one at 180, today at 234. Like, units are moving. And you can verify this by coming in here and go, card listings. How do we do that? Oh yeah, on the week, you can see the price points. So there's been 9 units sold in the last 7 days, and the total valuation that's moved is 1865. That's big money moving around. Just in the last 2 days, 2 copies have sold, right? 200 and 232. That's a lot of money, man, for a card that I don't know if I see it. So anyways, let's look at the Yabanius over here where we can learn more about Relentless Strike. Yaba. So Relentless Strike attacks deal true damage plus 1 damage if the target has void, shield, or force field. Cool. I actually didn't know it does more damage. So there's that. That's pretty cool. And then the Empower, while not revealed, the unit and adjacent units gain plus 1 power. So why would that be really cool? As I already said, multi-attacking units will benefit from that. If we just look at Conclave and we go no farther than promo, really, that there's some pretty juicy double attackers. Let's click on multi reg. How about Grammel the Hunger? This thing getting +1/+1/+1 would be pretty amazing. How about Rick Launemon? How about Nefket? How about, right? In Wild, you get even crazier combinations, and then there's weapon trains like Longshot that are going to teach 2 weapon trains, and you could impart a power up to whoever she's training. And so I think that's what the big hubbub is about with Yabanius. But I've gone a little bit off the beaten track with the conversation. I'll just say that the Pickle looks good as well, and the Yaba card looks amazing. So I get why Yaba is being desired. I don't know why it's being paid $230 per unit, frankly. Oh, but I did want to point out there's only, if you go to back to Peak Monsters, look up Yaba, then look at this. There's only 68 BCX available. And so that's part of why the price point's so high. But I'm still astonished by that. Nevertheless, let's move on. Let's count that. That was a good conversation. Let's count that as comment or question number 1. The game within the game. This was a video I really enjoyed covering, where I talk about, I called it Turn Pennies into Power, Mage Wagons equal free future cards. I'm talking about, analyzing price versus value, recognizing that just because something is sold for $1 doesn't mean it's a good deal. And if it's sold for $1,000 doesn't mean it's a bad deal. Price doesn't actually tell you about the value. What is its utility? What is its functionality? How will it work in the game, and how will it help you win? Is it going to be played in Modern or just Wild? Is it going to be played in tournaments successfully, meaningfully? Is it a carry card or a support card? All these things matter. Is it going to provide value in Mage Wagons, which will be airdrop points? All these things matter. And knowing the difference between that and so many more points, which we dive deep to in that video, are going to help you better navigate the game within the game, which is not just playing Splinterlands, but building your deck. Jeff said, I've been loving Blazebeard thus far, and me too. That was one of the cards I really featured in that video. It's a super powerful card. I don't know if my win record is above 50% with it, but it feels like if I had to hazard a guess, I'd say yes. Ghostly said, I actually think Craniux is not a bad card at all. In that video, I kind of downplayed Craniux, and I'll say that I don't dislike Craniux. That's a comment I want to zoom in on a little bit. Legendary, remove the Yaba. So Craniux here, I don't dislike this card. It's just that I was trying to make the point that if I'm looking at value and price, I don't necessarily think that there's a bunch of, let's say, really discounted value in the legendaries from Conclave. These are not low, they're not high prices per se. And if you thought the cards were amazing, then sure, then I would say go for it. But my point was not that Craniux is bad. It's more that if I was going to spend $70 or $80 on Craniux gold foil, in terms of airdrop points, in terms of functionality, in terms of building out my deck, I would rather go epic. And the reason is simple. You can get more for $80. You could buy 8 of these, or 4 of those and 4 of those, and how that would build my deck better than the one card. And so that was more my point. Let's see what else. Louis Nikisa says both great cards. Talking about the Beard and the Lucky Longshot, both of which are exceptional. The epics on the Conclave are really, really solid. There's Lucky Longshot, $18 right now. I've seen it as low as 16, and there's Beard at 16, which I think is a good price for the gold foil. I think if you compare it to Rebellion, you're talking like a $20. Like the best epics should be in that $20 to $30 range for the best of the best gold foil epics. Are these the best of the best? I think time is yet to tell. I'm really enjoying Umbral Elemental. I'm also really enjoying Hodler. Sifu is amazing. And I don't know if you guys really see what I'm seeing. Warwall Juggernaut is one that I'm loving. So I don't see you guys using them against me. And so I'm wondering if those are flying under the radar. But yeah, the Beard and Longshot are amazing. When will Mage Wagon start again? They said 4 to 6 weeks, but no specific date. So probably end of June is a reasonable guess. Not that far off. Okay, that'll be question number 2. We'll move into here. Is this a mistake or not? Oh, this will be fun because I covered this purchase of mine. I covered my only gold foil Conclave core playable. My only gold foil arcane is this guy right here, Umbral Elemental. Oops, that's not him. Items. There he is. Umbral Elemental. As you can see, I have a level 6 and he is shining. That is my gold foil arcane Umbral Elemental. And I paid $8.50 for that. And in that video I called the video, is this a mistake or not? This card doesn't exist except in my collection. I really enjoyed naming that one. I felt that was a fun name because there really is only one of one right now. And I know that there will be more of them. People have pointed that out in the comment section. I'm sure some of you want to point that out even now as I call it one of one. Here's the deal. There's only one printed so far. I know that ultimately there will be 9 more at some point when people open all the Rebellion packs, or Conclave packs rather. But for now, there's only one. And we just don't, until such time that it's ripped, we don't know. And the cool thing about this too is they're pre-minted, so they exist, but they won't be handed out until the packs are randomly generated, which reveal these. And that's why people are getting, I don't know if everyone knows this, that's why people are so excited about Conclave, because the packs that are sold late will have an increased proportion of these gold foil arcanes, because they'll need to get printed. And as we've burnt more and more packs along the way, every day if we don't sell 15,000, they burn some, they're getting a greater and greater probability of releasing these amazing cards. That's the cool thing about those pre-mints. And actually the same is true with Yabanius, and the same will be true with, I think, the black foil arcanes. Yes, it is. And so, yeah, right now it's one of one. There is no other Umbral Elemental gold foil arcanes, and to me, 850 feels like a deal. That's me now talking my own bag. But even if you look at the black foil I think was selling $9.25. I have to think gold foil arcane is double to 5x that. That's just a guess, but that's what I would imagine. And there are 12 of them. Yeah, there are 12 of these, not one. So anyways, I'm loving my card. I'm using it all the time. And but I did see a bunch of people say that. Master Shonuff says, I love the way you walk the walk when it comes to analysis of things. The time you will tell if this is a good buy. One thing I was curious about is why not use Monster Market? Yeah, I just like Peak Monsters. It's familiarity. It's a fair comment, Master Shonuff. Sometimes I do, but I like Peak Monsters. Jarby's amazing. He's always been amazing to me. And shout out to Jarby. And okay, and then Woody also said, please be careful, Dwayne. Gold foil arcane picks are not one of one. See, and he's not the only person who said this. Louis Nikisa said something similar. And so I'll just say one more time, I understand. The epics are 1 of 10, but 9 of them aren't printed, and that's why. Plus, let's be honest, a thumbnail that makes it sound like there's only one of this thing and I own it. First of all, it's true. There's only one and I own it, but eventually there will be 10. And sure, you're right about that. But that title doesn't sound quite as sexy. So thanks guys for your time and attention. I'm going to leave it there. Have an amazing day. God bless.